All right, welcome back. Today I'm doing a top 10 Drake songs list. Everybody's got their favorite top 10 Drake songs. Everyone's got their own opinion, and there's so many songs, so many great hits. I'm not trying to dick ride, but there's just so many great Drake songs, and it's kind of hard to pinch it into 10. So I'm gonna give you my 10, and then just remember this is my opinion. And in the comments, you guys can drop your top 10 however you see it fit. I'm not going off, commercial success or number one hits. I'm not including features either, but I'm really just going off like the quality of it, and it's really just my opinion, right? I'm not. You're not gonna see "Nice for What" or "God's Plan" in the top 10. I'll tell you that now. So if you were looking forward to God's Plan being number one, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Kicking off the list at number 10 is The Ride. So this was the closing track on Take Care featuring The Weeknd. And I feel like everything about this track really summed up Take Care so well. Take Care was just an album where, aside from it being a classic, and here I am riding Drake again, but you got so much of a glimpse into his personal life with that album, and it kind of set the benchmark for a lot of Drake's albums in the future. And Weeknd had such a huge influence on this album, and to hear his voice on the very last song just felt right to me, and especially on that track where Drake is kind of looking back at everybody who's showing him fake love. I love the arrogant rap from Drake. That's just, it's such a lost art, I feel like, with Drake today. He just doesn't really, he doesn't hit you with the arrogance the way he used to. It's not a straight rap manner, but it's more sing-songy now. And I miss Ruthless Drake. And I think you'll notice that in my list because there's a couple, if you're reading this, it's Too Late songs on here. And that was really Drake in his boy bag, per se. There's the man's bag and there's the boy bag. And everybody likes the boy bag way better. All right, number 9, speaking of if you're reading this, it's too late, is Energy. I like Energy a lot because it just has that kind of energy. I didn't plan that at all. It's just the cockiness of Drake, and even doubling back on the last verse saying, "No, fuck all of you people, I ain't finished." And just having the beat stop when he says that and then looping it back around. I remember the first time I heard it, I was a freshman in high school. I heard that and I was like, "Oh god, like he's not playing. He's not playing." Drake's never really playing on that album. And in my opinion, is his best album. Just my personal opinion, but Energy just brings that kind of flow to it. It just kind of griminess, rawness that represents that era of Drake so well, where he was really on top of the world. And that was the most popular Drake has ever been with the public. Because you look at everyone in the this is before the ghostwriting, even though this album had a little bit of the ghostwriting. Public opinion of him was very positive, very solid. There wasn't as many detractors then as there are now. And that was when everybody loved Drake getting in the booth and really fucking hurting people. And he doesn't do that as much anymore, and I think that's been such a detriment to him. It's just a lot of old Drake songs in this list. I don't even think there's the newest song on here, honestly, is the next one. So, number 8 is Back to Back, and this song is, I wouldn't say it's the greatest Drake song. Like, off quality alone, I wouldn't put it top 10, but I think the meaning of it, as well as the timing and what it means to Drake's legacy, is what propels this so much. He dropped a diss track and it got Grammy nominated against Meek Mill, who everybody loves now. He's looking better than he ever has. And this was just, again, at the very pinnacle of Drake's stardom. There's nobody in the world that could top him. And he was really just killing everybody possible. Literally smoking everybody possible. Meek came over, and Back to Back was just the perfect way to... it was the second diss track, too, because he had Charged Up. That didn't really count. That was just like kind of like a warning shot. And then Back to Back was like, yeah, I'm coming for you. But just the premise of a diss track being so commercially popular and defines Drake's career, honestly. That was the big win that everybody has seen. He'll never get a win like that again, I don't think. Not in beef, ever since Push got to him. But he's this was just fucking unbelievable. I remember I was at my friend's house when this song came out, and I'm reading all the quotes and the ad libs. Is that a world tour or your girls tour? I know that you gotta be a thug for it. The same way she meant when she told you to open up more. That was a good one. Yeah. Oh, obviously Twitter fingers. I think that was the beginning of Twitter fingers. Actually, come to think, I might be wrong. I don't know, but this is quality wise maybe outside the top 10. But for what it meant for Drake, this is got to be top 10. This is a classic, and this is Drake at maybe his biggest bully stage ever. Number 7, Lord Knows, off Take Care with Rick Ross. I just love the beat on this song. I love the loop and just the dynamic. It just feels electric. The entire song has a feel of energy on it that you don't get from Drake songs at all. I think this is the best Drake and Rick Ross song ever. I don't want to hear it. Maybe Paris Morton music, but I'm biased toward Lord Knows. They take the greats from the past and compare us. I wonder if they'd ever survive in this era. In a time where it's recreation to pull all your skeletons out the closet like Halloween decorations. That man is on his second album talking like that. Oh, a lot of people came up off of a style that I made up, but if all I hear is me, then who should I be afraid of? See, I like Drake when he's in his fucking bully bag. When he's in his bully bag, there's nobody meaner than him. And he again, doesn't do the shit anymore, and it bothers me so much. But this is an all-time Drake song. There's no debating it. Just adding the Ross verse at the end, which was also just as evil, and then hearing the Lord Knows as they loop it around in the end. And once the song is over, it feels like you've been on a roller coaster, and it's definitely one of Drake's more dynamic songs he's ever made. Yeah, I think this is the best Drake opener in any album that he's ever had. Tuscan Leather. This was, nothing was the same. The stakes were real high for this album. Right after Take Care, you drop almost an instant classic like that, and you say, how is he gonna follow up on that? And Tuscan Leather, the first beat was crazy. There were 3 beats on the song. Each one of them got better. Degenerates, but even Ellen loves our shit. That's just, damn. You know, like that's solid. That's really solid. And I think the biggest part of this song is when the beat drops and the energy just immediately picks up. And that's the greatest thing in Drake songs, when you can feel the energy and you feel that he's committed and he's in it. I think the end, just saying how much time is this man spending on the intro, I thought that was real funny. That always made me laugh. The second verse of him kind of reflecting on the relationships he's lost, citing Nicki Minaj's relationship, or the one that they had together, that was a weird dynamic that a lot of people weren't sure whether or not they would address at the time. And then when he addressed it, it was like, oh, okay. It just provided a lot of closure, and that's an underrated part when rappers go into their songs and they know what the people are wondering and they clear it up. A lot of people don't be doing that, but that's Drake, and Drake will do that because he doesn't care. Then the last verse on this song is really him just kind of giving some advice to a lot of people that may be down. Again, reflecting on his journey, talking about what he's done up to this point, how he has set the bar for what pop rap sounds like today in a way that his protege, Lil Wayne, not protege, he's talking about how he sets the bar in a way that his mentor, Lil Wayne, did. And he's kind of set that bar for pop rap. And 2013 was a time where everybody was trying to sound like Drake. I think adding the piano to go into the next song as well, on Furthest Thing, and then the second part of that song as well, just the album just flowed so well, and it was just sonically fantastic. All right, number 5, I might get flack for this, but this is one of the best probably the best pop rap. No. Let me stop. Definitely not. But it's a top pop rap song of all time. Started from the bottom. This was just a fun song. Like it's not a ton of stuff in here. Kind of talking about where he was at before he got famous. The music video really illustrates this very well. And just the hook. Just the hook started from the bottom, now we're here, and then the beat that we've come accustomed to hearing from Drake, that similar type of Drake beat, it was just a culmination of a lot of very Drake things at its very peak, and that's what made Started from the Bottom. I don't really have a ton to say about this because Started from the Bottom is not as well rounded, I'd say, as some of his best, more dynamic songs, but as far as pop rap goes, this is up there all time. Number 4, this is just, I love this song. This is one of the first Drake songs I ever heard and fell in love with. Best I ever had. This is a lane that few people do better than Drake, which is be able to rap and sing his own hooks, sound like Drake featuring Drake. I'll get to that later. It's just such a catchy song. Like, whenever you hear it, you just want to sing along to Best I Ever Had. It's just 2009. That mixtape Drake was a good era. That was a good time. I was 10. It was a good time. And that was like right when I started getting into rap, and I was like, oh, this is nice. I like this. Best I Ever Had was like one of my favorite songs. I was like 10 years old. I didn't know I was saying all that shit because it was on the radio. It was a popular song. Best I Ever Had actually might be better than Started from the Bottom as far as pop rap goes. Yeah, no, definitely. My bad. I take it all back. All right, number 3. You knew this was going to be on here. This is an all-time classic. Marvin's Room. I'm crying even thinking about it. Oh, man. I remember 7th grade me would put this on and just mope. Cups of rose. Even the fact that Marvin's Room has still continued to age better and better as time goes on. Because now it's been almost 8 years now, maybe 8 years since Take Care has come out, and Marvin's Room still sounds just as good. It's one of those ageless songs, and that's all you can ask for from an artist, to have a song that you can play that was from 10, 15 years ago, a la like a couple Jay-Z songs and a 50 Cent song here and there, where you can look back and just be like, yeah, this is a classic song. You always love this song. There's never a time you don't want to hear Marvin. Well, take it back. If you're listening to Marvin's Room with the homies, you probably need to go see a therapist or something. Number 2, this might be my personal favorite Drake rapping song, and I know it is for a lot of my friends. It's 5 a.m. in Toronto. So, maybe you weren't expecting 5 a.m. in Toronto to be here, but it is here. This was just, every single bar in this song had meaning. It had malice. It had purpose. And it was just a huge fuck you to everybody. You underestimate it greatly. Most number ones ever. How long did that really take me? This was like 2012, 2013. Rapping some wild shit. This was just Drake and his bully. Once again, he took shots at The Weeknd, took shots at Chris Brown. Sinatra Lifestyle, I'm just being frank with you. Where do you think she at when she ain't with you? 5 a.m. in Toronto just is such a great song overall. Again, the malice that Drake puts in some of these records is what makes them so memorable. I feel like he's just lost so much of that. He's not really focused on making memorable moments, memorable songs as much anymore. Kind of just making things that are in the avenue of what's popular. You know, he hasn't defined his own sound as much as he should have. In 2012 up to 2015, Drake had his own sound. And now it's like Drake's sound has kind of gone off the deep end, or you don't find it. You don't find Drake's sound much anymore because, you know, you don't get that old style of Drake music anymore. You get the more, you know, radio-friendly songs. You get the God's Plans. You get the Nice for What's. And I like Nice for What. I kind of like God's Plan. I'm not saying I don't like it. But 5 a.m. in Toronto, he just doesn't drop these Lucy's anymore. This isn't what he does. And I don't know. It just makes me sad because 5 a.m. in Toronto, I feel like, was such a peak. And that little 3-year period all the way up to 2015 where it was Drake on top of the world. And he was talking so much shit. And Kendrick was obviously up there at the time. J. Cole was up there at the time as well. But Drake was talking more shit than any of them. So all the attention is focused on Drake. And 5 a.m. in Toronto was just the perfect way to encapsulate the amount of influence and the amount of power that Drake had. Now, number one on this list is, for many reasons, my favorite Drake song of all time. I think it's just so dynamic, electric, and everything you could ever want, everything I look for in a Drake song, and that's Pound Cake and Paris Morton music with Jay-Z. I think Drake just getting on that beat with that sample loop that he got sued for. And, well, not the sample loop, it was the dude talking in the beginning of the song that he got sued for. But the sample loop at the, at the end of that little monologue in the beginning, and then going into Drake talking about where he is now and his ruthlessness and the power that he has, goes into one of the best Jay-Z features you've heard ever. And then add that with a second beat where it's Drake reflecting on where he was at that time, being in the basement, being someone's artist who didn't recognize him, talking about ex-lovers. It was just one of the greatest Drake moments that you'll ever find in an album. And it was so reflective to a point where you look at him now and you're like, wow, look how far he's come. And it was really his pivotal moment into making him a superstar, in my opinion, because he needed that one. Not to say that he didn't have hip-hop classics, but he needed that one timeless hip-hop classic where you can play it forever and it will always be remembered. And Paris Morton music and Pound Cake does that for me. A couple of my favorite Drake songs ever. Drop your top 10 in the comments. I want to hear what you agree on, disagree on, whatever. Share this video with whoever, Drake fans, because I'm sure there's fucking millions of them. But yeah, until next time, it's been your boy. I'm out.